All right, welcome everybody. If you're watching us back. Or hope maybe you're watching us straight from our Facebook group. So tonight we're going to talk about mindset, and I know that we did a little bit of schedule shift, but we have Melissa Gratz as a special guest who specializes in mindset. Let me tell you, there's more than one time she's picked me up and dusted me off and readjusted my attitude and my mindset. And so I know that there's nobody better for this topic. And she's so wonderful to just hop in last second and just be like, sure, I'll come and hang out with you guys tonight. So I'm not going to take up your time with my blabber because she always has plenty of great things to say. So
Just
yeah,
talks too much.
Melissa.
Um, Two more. I want to say hi to everybody. Hello, Donna. Great to see you, and Carissa. I love that you turned your camera on. So, anyhow, great to see all of you. Thank you so much. I'm thanking you for coming tonight, but really, I mean, this is what you guys do on Wednesday nights, and so I guess thanks for having me. I'm always happy to slide in and be surrounded by other consultants because this is what I love doing. I love this business for that reason. I love my life for that reason. I am a smidge of a people person. And so this being a people business, I think I found the right fit. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Melissa Gratz. I'm a superstar director in Michigan. I've been with Scentsy since 2008. So I just celebrated 15 years this year, which is so crazy. Oh, thanks, Haley. Which is so crazy because when you think about doing something for a year, it sounds so long. When you think about doing something for 5 years, I mean, like I've been in Scentsy longer than some people have been married, like, or that a lot of people have been married, but, or really, I've been in Scentsy longer than any of my friends have held a job. Like that's one of the things that made me laugh. I was visiting with a high school friend not that long ago, and she was saying that she is on her 13th place of business. She's in the advertising field, and in the advertising field, with it being very cutthroat and everything, you move around a lot. That's what she told me. But anyhow, she's in her 13th place of business since we both graduated from college. And I was like, I've been doing Scentsy this whole time. Like here I am 15 years later, and I love it just as much today as I did when I started. Of course, I love it more now than when I started, because when I started, I was only going to do this business for 6 months because nobody stays in direct sales for a long time. That's what I thought. I was like, I'm going to get in, I'm going to sell some wax to some people, I'm going to make some money, and then I'm going to go because that's what everybody does. And around the 6-month mark, I was like, wait, I had so many people buy from me. Who are they going to get their Scentsy from if I leave? And that was the literal pivotal turning point for me in my business, when I was like, I don't like to leave people high and dry. I don't want people to go somewhere else to get their Scentsy fixed now that I introduced them to it. And so here I am, and I promise you, hand to the sky, I'm a lifer. I will always do Scentsy. I will pass Scentsy down to my daughter, whether she likes it or not. I am here forever and ever and ever, because I still wake up every single morning and am passionate about what I get to do for a living. I get to talk to people. I get to share a product that I'm using myself anyways, and that I love. So it's not like it's hard work to promote something that I love and I'm using. I get to do this business with friends. I get to travel, and I get to inspire others. And before finding Scentsy, I was really super involved in things in high school and in college. I was more in college for the extracurricular activities than I was for the studying, I'm just going to say. And so when I graduated from college, I felt lost, because I was like, what do I do with myself now? Like, now I'm just out in the real world, and who do I lead? And what meetings do I get to go to? And, because I was so involved in things. And so, of course, I decided to be the treasurer of my bowling league. I decided to be on the condo association board, where I was the youngest person by about 45 years. Like here I was trying to find my calling in all of these other places. And it turns out that it ended up being a direct selling business that is my absolute calling and purpose. And so when they say that, people join this business for a million different reasons, whether it's to make a car payment or it's to get you out of the house because you've been raising kids for the last decade, or it's something for you to do other than just being a mom or a wife, or you just want something fun because your real daytime job is so stressful that you just want an outlet. And that's only just a handful of examples of how and why people work this business. But regardless of what your why is what keeps you going. And my why, though they say your why changes throughout your journey and through the course of your business, my why, in that I want to be around people and I want to inspire people and I want to share fragrance, that why hasn't changed. And to see even in myself that I'm still passionate about it today and I love it so much, I know that it's the right decision for me. So that's a little bit about me, maybe. You will see that I kind of am all over the place and I talk a mile a minute. And if nobody is talking or asking me anything, I will just keep talking. And so, so here we are. Did somebody, okay, let me check the chat before that's the one thing about Zoom is like, I love to see what people put in the chat, but then when you're actually leading the call or you're talking on the call, it's the awkward pause of me now reading the chat instead of actually talking to you. Okay. Oh, Donna, thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about mindset. And I have a few things that with regards to mindset that I want to talk to you about and kind of give you some real world context on how they apply to our business. So there's some key points, and maybe you've heard about, mindset. Mindset to you could also be one of those buzzwords that's kind of like goals, where you hear goals and you're like, oh, all right, I've goal set before. I know I need to set goals so that I can achieve them and mark them off. And same thing with mindset, right? You might hear mindset and be like, yeah, I know I have to have a good mindset. Like, okay, what more can you tell me? What more can you talk to me about? But mindset is extremely powerful. One of my dear friends, Jody Farmer, she said recently, I started paying attention to how I was talking to myself. And when I started paying attention to what I was saying to myself, that I wouldn't say to others, but that because we're all harsher with ourselves than we would ever be to somebody else. She said, when I really started honing in on how I was speaking to myself, it was a wake-up call. And ever since she said that to me, it made me more conscious of how I'm talking to myself. Because again, the things that we have a tendency to say to ourselves is not anything that we would ever say to somebody else. Why are we so harsh with ourselves? Why do we hold ourselves to such a standard that we can't even meet our own expectations of ourselves? We're hard on ourselves, right? And so mindset is a very, very powerful thing. And it starts with, bottom line, defining your own success. What do you want success to look like for you? It's not what Melissa wants success to look like. It isn't what Teresa wants success to look like. It's what does success look like and feel like to you in your life, in your current situation, in your current life stage, in your current season. What is success to you? Is success making your car payment per month because of your Scentsy business? If you were to do that, would you consider yourself consistent and successful? Is your success barometer a little bit higher than that? Do you have what is important to you? Because what is important to you is how you can define your success. Again, your success is not determined by how you compare yourself to others. That's not how your success is defined. Because the moment any of us start comparing ourselves to somebody else, we're setting ourselves up to fail. I can't compare myself to Anna. Our every day looks different and our situations look different. And I have 2 kids, she has 1 kid, and whatever. The moment you start comparing yourself to somebody, but you strip back the comparison and realize we're different people. We do things different ways. I cannot compare my success to hers because her story, her experience, her why is different. So what is important to you and how can you define success for yourself? So one question I want you to think about, so just jot it down and we can move on, is what would make me feel successful? And I don't want you to write down being a superstar director would make me feel successful, because there are 74 million other successes that can lead up to being a superstar director that you have to hit before you hit that 74th million spot. So what does success look like to you right now, currently? Okay, that's one thing I want you to reflect on when we're going to move on. I kind of said it already, but having positive self-talk, right? How do we talk to ourselves impacts the energy that we receive. So the energy that we're putting out there is completely proportionate to the energy that we receive. How are you speaking to yourself? If you're constantly saying, I can't, I won't, nobody wants to join, nobody wants to buy, nobody wants to host, I can't make a sale, I can't reach out to my customers. If your language is filled with can'ts and won'ts, you're right. You're absolutely right. You can't do those things because you've already told your entire body that you won't and you can't. So your body is going to repel against all of your action because you've already conditioned your body that it's not happening. Your positive self-talk is so impactful. So let me give you an example. I decided that I was going on, well, let me give you a context to the example. So I was asked to present at convention at SFR, and I know all of you are on this screen because you're attending SFR. Is that correct? I get to see all of your beautiful faces in like 2 weeks in Charlotte, right? Okay, so I am presenting at SFR. I've been asked to hold one of the 90-minute workshops for Party with a Purpose, okay? And so after I was asked, I was talking to my directors and I said, I'm presenting on Party with a Purpose at SFR. It is only right that I book some parties before I hold that workshop. To me, that is the next logical step in line to being prepared to talk to people at SFR about parties. So I put it in my mind that I was going to book parties, okay? Now, in fairness, my last actual home party was last November. So true transparency, what you choose to focus on is what you make happen. I wasn't choosing to focus on parties, so they were not happening, okay? So I had to shift my mindset and my focus into my energy needs to be in booking parties. I wanted to hold at least one party before SFR, but my window is getting shorter and shorter. But in order to even have a chance of holding a party before SFR, I had to start asking people. So to give you the Cliff Notes version, I have booked 4 parties. They are not happening before SFR. I have 2 that are happening in August. I have 1 on the books for September and 1 on the books for October 20th. And it's 6:30 p.m. We already have it nailed down that much in advance. But the way that I got the 2 that I wanted to happen quickly is I did not ask them if they wanted to book a party. I've changed my language. My language is, can I give you an excuse to have people over? That's my way. Can I give you an excuse to have people over? And I got yeses to the 2 people that I asked that to. Well, I asked a couple more and I got a couple no's. Not yet. No just means not right now. But that language made it so non-pressury and so didn't feel like it was easy. And so they said, yeah, what's the excuse? And I said, well, to be honest, I have not done a Scentsy demo. Now, I did fudge a tiny bit. And I said, I haven't done a Scentsy demo since pre-COVID. And I need to get back into my groove because this is what I do for a living. And this is how I meet people. Would you be willing to invite some friends over and let me bring my scent testers and just guinea pig my demo on you? Yep. Totally yes. And I did not use the word party at all. And I literally said, can I give you an excuse to have people over? So I have 2 of them coming up in August. I have one of them in September and one of them that's going to be in October. And the one in September and October, because they're in fall, winter, it's going to be like a full out, like we're sending invitations and having a full out harvest and holiday party. But anyway, my whole point in telling you this is that mindset and focus dictates where you're going. The moment I started focusing on the fact that I wanted to have parties, that's where I put my energy. That's where I was telling myself I can do it. That's where I made something happen. And because I don't like to pressure people. I don't like to make people feel awkward. I don't like to make people feel like they have to say yes or say no. Like, I don't like to make people feel any kind of way other than my friend. Like, if you do business with me, we are friends. I've never met a stranger in my life. And so I wanted to make it comfortable, and I had to find language that felt comfortable to me. Because however you're asking people for something for your business, if the language doesn't feel comfortable to you, you will not feel comfortable asking it. You have to make the language your own so that it rolls off your tongue. And for me, saying, can I give you an excuse to have people over, came out of my mouth so fast, and it's so comfortable for me that I want to ask everybody because it's very comfortable to me. So find language that's comfortable to you. Find your unique. So like I said, I've never met a stranger in my life, and that's how I run my business. I wasn't always this confident speaking. I remember the very first time I had to speak in front of, it was called Spring Sprint back then instead of World Tour. And it was my very first speaking engagement with Scentsy. I don't even remember what year it was. And it was in an auditorium in Ohio. And I literally thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. I was standing on the side of the auditorium, the speaker before me, while the speaker before me was up on stage, and I was standing on the side of the auditorium, and I was stretching, and I was stretching my quads. I wanted a paper bag to breathe into because I thought I was going to have a serious panic attack. Over time, it's true, practice, and you become more comfortable. So going back to finding what makes me unique, finding what makes you unique is, hold on, finding what makes you unique. I had to find what makes me unique. And for me, it is that whole, I've never met a stranger, and I want people that do business with me to feel like I'm a friend. I don't want to just be their Scentsy consultant. I want to have a relationship with them. I want to be memorable to them. One of my taglines I use on all of my marketing is, when you think of Scentsy, I want you to think of me. I try to put my face on everything. I know that's not everybody's thing, but you know, that old if you have two business cards in front of you and one has a picture on it and one doesn't, the one that doesn't have a picture is the one that's getting thrown away. And the one that does, that's why real estate agents put their faces on their real estate signs. That's why billboards put faces at, every injury lawyer puts their face on their billboard, because humans sell. When you can see that somebody is a real person, it's harder to toss them into the trash. So I want to make sure that every one of the people, that every customer, every person I come in contact with, anybody that I do business with, I want to make them feel special. I want to make them feel like they're my only customer, and I want to make them feel like I'm their friend. I want them to be comfortable contacting me so that when I am talking to them, I feel comfortable. So finding what makes you unique, because remember, we all have the exact same catalog to sell from. Each of us does. So every single one of my customers could go buy from Michaela and her puppy. Every single one, because she offers the same products. She had a warehouse sale today, and so did I. So why do my customers want to buy from me? I actually got a great compliment from a customer that came and she came and picked up an order and smelled some bars with me yesterday. And she said, I came across a Scentsy consultant. I was out at a farmer's market, and she had asked me, of course I strolled slowly past her booth, and she had asked me if I had heard of Scentsy and if I wanted to purchase anything. And she said, I'm very familiar with Scentsy, but I also have the best consultant in the world. And I'm not saying that to brag. I literally am saying what a great compliment when my customer feels like I wouldn't do business with anybody else because you are my go-to for Scentsy. And to me, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right if my customers are loyal to me, because the very best compliment that you can get in business is having someone who's loyal and someone who refers you. Those are the two best compliments that you can get in business. So think about what makes you unique. Think about what sets you apart, because your customer can buy Scentsy from any of us. So what do? Is it that you write handwritten notes after every single order that you get? Is it that you, when a customer calls, you ask them about something about themselves before you get into why they're calling you or why you're talking about Scentsy? That's one of the tips and tricks that it's my 15-year-age-old tip and trick that I always share, is that my contacts are put in my phone with identifiers that jog my memory. So when they call, I know exactly who is calling. So for instance, because quite frankly, unless I'm taking their credit card or shipping them an order, I do not care what their last name is yet. Not until I know them well enough to where their first and last name is in memory. But until then, I don't care about their last name. So my customers in my phone are like, customer Ashley, Walmart parking lot. Well, I remember exactly who that is because I always meet her in the Walmart parking lot to deliver her orders. Or Lynette Bulbs, because somehow the only reason I ever hear from Lynette is when she needs bulbs, but I don't know what she's melting. She always tells me she has plenty of Scentsy, but she always needs bulbs. But anyway, I always put their last name as something, so when it pops up on my phone, I know who is calling. And I have crazy identifiers in my phone that if somebody looked at my phone, they'd be like, who are these people? But let me give you just a couple other examples. I also put CUS in front of every customer's name in my phone so that when it becomes time to texting people, I can just type CUS in my contacts. Hold on. And every single customer comes up because they have the prefix CUS. So in here, you'll see customer Allison, Walmart, Target, customer Amy, and then I put the initials of the event I met her at, plug-in base replace. Because the last time I talked to her, she had a plug-in base replaced. So every time that I talk to them, then I update what their last name is based on what we talked about, so that when they call me, if they call me, or if they text me, my memory is jogged on the last interaction I had with them. Customer Angela, again, the prefix of the event that I met her at, washer wib tub clean. So she was a perfect person to text today and let her know that the washer wib tub in Scentsy Clean was available for about 5 minutes. That's a joke. Customer Ann Silverbells, customer Ann Downriver Goofy Buddy, customer Ann Plymouth Fall Festival, customer Annette Plymouth Fall Festival Enchanted Pumpkin, customer Antoinette PWS orders only, customer Ashley BBC, that's old school for blueberry cheesecake, customer Barb Amber Road, customer Bethany online order, customer. So you get the gist, right? I'm literally just putting, like, the last warmer that they bought from me is their last name in my phone. I just want a very easy, doesn't matter what a system is, right? So long as the system works for you. And this may be a hot mess to some people, but to me, it makes perfect sense, because I don't like to go scramble to find information. I want it right at my fingertips, which is also, let me teach you another tip and trick that I've just started doing recently. When a customer picks up an order from me, every single customer, I take a picture of the order and I text it back to them with the total, even if they're standing in front of me. So if they're standing in front of me, I'll say to them, I'm just going to take a picture. Disregard the text you're going to get from me right now. I'm taking a picture of your order and texting it to you, so that when you need to reorder in the future, we can see right here what you got the last time. And now I have a history in the text thread of what that customer orders. So that's just another little tip. Okay. Becoming a better communicator is part of mindset. Focus on improving your language. That kind of goes hand in hand with the positive talk that we've talked about now twice, but improving your language. Surround yourself with good people. Now, I won't give you a life lesson on that. We won't take it outside of business. We'll leave it in business. Surround yourself with good people in this business. One of the main reasons I love doing this business is because I get to do it with people I enjoy being around. And I will always tell you to never, ever, ever be the smartest person in your consultant friend circle. Never be the smartest person. I've been doing this 15 years and I learn new ways to do things every single day. And I don't know how to do everything. And that's why I'm always happy that I have friends in this business, so that I can say, Anna, how do I do this? Teresa, give me a pep talk on this. Rachel, I need your out of the box idea thinking on this. Having friends in the business means I don't have to know everything. So surround yourself with people, because let me tell you something. It's harder to leave something or to set something aside when your friends are doing it. Think about if you have, even if it's one other person that's like an accountability partner for you in this business. We all need people to pick us up off the pavement on days when we're like, I am exhausted. I didn't get any orders. I heard 10 no's today. I'm tired. And I hope that I always am having that off day when my community is having an on day. Right? But surround yourself with people in this business, because you don't know everything. And there's a lot of, trust me, in 15 years, there is every kind of marketing that has ever been created, or every kind of, somebody has done something at some point where I feel like I just need to get my hands on that, because I'm not going to sit and reinvent the wheel. So having a network, having a community helps your business grow. You guys are all in this group together. If for no other reason, or you see each other on Wednesday nights, you interact with each other Wednesdays on your guys' page, you're going to see each other at SFR. If you don't have friends in this business, this is a jumpstart for you. You're going into SFR and you actually know at least faces, some names. You aren't alone. And if anybody in this business that's a consultant ever makes you feel not included or alone, they're not your people. Because we don't really have room for those kinds of people either. I mean, I am not any of your upline. I'm not in any of your downline. But because I love this business and I surround myself with good people, I am completely honored to spend time with you on Wednesday night and talk about this business with you. Those are the types of people that you want to surround yourself with. Those that give graciously and receive graciously and love what they do. Okay. Read and learn new things. That might sound simple, but like, I don't know if you're like me, I can't get enough knowledge. Google, probably, I'm surprised I don't hit like a Google limit for a day on like, how do you do this? Why is this? What's the difference between fish sauce, duck sauce, and oyster sauce in Chinese food? That's my most recent one I just did. I can't get enough of knowledge and learning, which to me is a great attribute for growth mindset, because to me, I couldn't have a fixed mindset because I like to always be learning. I said to a boss once, when I did have a job outside of Scentsy, but I said to a boss once, I said, the day that I stop learning something when working here is the day I'll be done. I want to be challenged and I want to learn things. I want to always be learning. And I've carried that mindset into my Scentsy business, into my everyday life, into my mommy-ness. I always want to be learning. So what is the last thing you learned? Do you like to learn things? That's part of having a growth mindset, is always being willing to learn new things and not allowing that self-talk to come in and be like, I couldn't do that. I can't do that. I could never do that. Trust me when I tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I believe in you long after you stop believing in yourself. Because the moment you tell yourself you can't or you won't, remember, that's correct. So I love to learn. So I'm not one of those people that gets in bed at night and like scrolls memes. Only on occasion if maybe somebody sends me one or something. But I am the scroller that is like, okay, give me a recipe, give me a DIY, give me a life hack, give me a home improvement hack, let me watch somebody tile a floor. Like I want to learn when I relaxing or learning to me is relaxing, because I don't feel like I'm capped in my potential or capabilities. You aren't either. So even if you have the opportunity to read for 10 minutes a day, read something. Read something that helps with your mindset. Focus on your health. That's important. I probably suck at that one the most. I probably can talk my way through the rest of these, but focus on your health. I need to do a better job of that. I carry a water bottle around with me all day long, but I always am drinking Dr. Pepper. The water is filled from this morning. Truth, transparency, whatever. Sorry, not sorry. But I need to focus more on my health. I don't get nearly as much sleep as I should. I'm a mom and a business owner, right? There's tons of excuses. Their excuses are for assholes. Everybody has one, and maybe more than one. So what are you doing to take care of you? Because without you, I need to drink more water. I need to get to bed at a better time. I should exercise more. However, I hardly ever sit down. So I use that as my, well, I walked 10 miles today. It might have been around the kitchen, but I'm never sitting down. Take accountability for your actions. If you make a mistake, we all do. Learn from it. Remember, we're always learning. We're always learning. And ask for help when you need it. That ties back to having a community. Whether that's a community just in your life because you need to have your parents' help to watch the kids so that you can do X, Y, and Z, or you need to rely on a neighbor to let your dog out because you're working, or fill in the blank. And in your business, ask for help. There is no such thing as a stupid question. There is not. And I've even had to remind myself of that from time to time when things get stressful, you know, and somebody asks me a question and I want to say, you should know the answer to this. But I take a deep breath and I realize that not everybody is as in the know with Scentsy as I am. So there's no stupid questions. And you're allowed to ask for help. I've asked for help. I still ask for help. That's how I've learned. That's how I've grown. Let me check the chat. Anything? Well, the chat.
I know for a fact that you could talk for hours and people would sit here and listen. For sure, for real. But I mean, I'm gonna throw out the code word. It's top hat this week. Okay, code word's top hat. But our call to action is based on mindset, and one of the things that Melissa mentioned is, you know, excuses are like assholes. Everybody has them. But we want you to think about what your why is and what your why not is. Like, what's holding you back? What is your why? And what are your excuses? What's your why not? Right, Teresa?
Yeah, I love that. And here's something that I want to tie into this. I'm looking at everyone. Thank you all so much for those of you that did turn on your videos. I feel like there's power in that. I know that this is just a Zoom call, but to be able to embrace yourself, your face, your whatever you're doing. I mean, I was over here eating a BLT dinner for tonight. It doesn't matter. But the fact that you can turn on your video, any Zoom call that you're on is so powerful. So I want to say that's also part of mindset, to know it doesn't matter what you look like. You're beautiful. You know, whether I think someone came here with a towel on their head one night, it doesn't matter. It's just embracing your own confidence. One of the things that with Melissa, I followed Melissa for years. I mean, I've only been with Scentsy for about 8.5 years, but there was one time we were in Austin at Scentsy Family Reunion, and she was on the stage. She had not won, she earned Shining Star, and what she spoke on the stage was so powerful to me because it resembled something I had walked through. She said that, and there's a reason why I'm sharing this with you guys. She said that her friends, family connection, when they kind of looked at what she was doing, you know, there's some people that went off to dental school and to become doctors or advertising or whatever, they, you know, opened up their own beauty salons. They were doing all these things. And then they turned to her and said, well, how much longer are you going to be in this network marketing, you know, business? And she kind of stepped back like, what do you mean how much longer? Like, this is my career. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love doing. And ironically, she had another career, and that career she was let go of. She was, what were you?
I was the office manager for a real estate title insurance company. I had been there for 19 years. 19 years, 16 years. I was let go in 2019. So 16 years I was there. My parents never, it was my parents. My parents said that to me. They were like, so do you think Scentsy, like, you think you've ridden a wave? You think Scentsy's going to kind of fizzle out? They never asked me that about my day job. Never. They never asked me if I was going to do something different, if I wanted to stay, if I wanted to leave. Never. Well, that company merged with a larger company and they cleaned house, and I was let go after 16 years. They never asked me about that job, and that's the one that let me go. And here I am 15 years later, still riding that wave, exactly where I'm supposed to be. But go ahead, Teresa.
No, I love that because, before we kind of kicked off, Melissa had shared the impact of today's warehouse sale and how many people can turn around, I don't care what your profession is, and say, you know what, in just a few hours, we made, this amount of income revenue. And there might be others that can say it. The point that I'm saying is that her mindset never wavered. When she started this business, she wanted to plug herself into a place where she could always be learning, right? And the same thing happened to me. I was with my company, ironically, for 16 years. After September the 11th, I was in Washington, D.C., helped build the training modules, everything from ground up, worked 18-hour days. And then all of a sudden, I get not even a phone call, but an email that I'm being laid off. And so what I love about this business is that I feel like I'm in the driver's seat. I have control over the hours. I have control over how much I want to pour in, how long I want to do this, which I tell everyone I'm going to be in a wheelchair at 90 years old, dropping off their orders. But it was just powerful. And I share that with each of you because there's some of you listening right now and you're like, oh, I'm not going to post on my timeline, or you know what, we have a warehouse sale and I don't ever put anything on my personal page. Why? If you were a doctor or a lawyer, or if you were managing, working for Google or Apple products or whatever, you wouldn't be ashamed. Do not be ashamed. To have confidence. Make sure that your mindset about this business is a positive one, because what we do is very positive. When I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, before I was protecting the flying public from bomb threats and whatever else. And now I'm selling wax and warmers. And I had to reshift my mind to understand that I am making a difference. When you get a text message from someone that says, I can pay my car note, or someone messaged me earlier, minutes before this call, and said, you know what, I'm a single mom now, I'm a new divorcee, and I'm able to pay, my bills or some bills. So this whole mindset can go in so many different ways. If you go back and look at the thread of our group, Build It Better, there's some of you that said, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get paid at title. I haven't been paid at director title since whatever. And you know what? You're right. You're not going to get paid at title. And when we challenge that to say, rephrase that, you know what? She's probably not on. She got paid at title, even though she hadn't for months. She got paid at title last month. Okay. There's some of you that said, oh, you know what? I do well here, but I can never, ever, ever get a reinstatement. You guys, there is power in what you speak. There is power in your tongue. There's power in your voice. So make sure that what you speak and what comes out of your mouth is what you want to come into existence. It is so powerful. And it could be the impossible. It could be whatever it is that you want to be. But it goes back to what Melissa said earlier, is how do you talk to yourself when you tell yourself never, or that this is impossible, or I can't? Would you tell your child that? If your child walked through the door from school and said, oh my gosh, school was just kind of heavy today because of math, you'll never get that math test right. You'll never pass. You'll never get out of, this grade. You would never talk to anyone else that way. So I know that it's a process. For me, it was a process growing up. My mom, she's German, and I just remember getting in the car and we weren't even a mile. Oh my God, everyone's flying like a bat out of hell. And I'm like, geez. We just left the driveway, they need to put a red light over here. We've always, and I'm like, oh my God. And so no matter what you heard growing up, no matter what you hear from yourself, do something, pinch yourself or put a rubber band or something that when you hear that negative voice in your head, correct yourself. It's not going to happen overnight because you've been speaking to yourself this way for a long time. Some of you are sitting here right now. You have goals and ambitions for yourself personally that Scentsy can help get you to, but you can say, I could never be a director. I could never sell with a group 10,000. I can't deal with people. Yes, you can. There's all kinds of people with so many different stories, people with anxiety, I feel like I have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm that person that fills up the water bottle and at 9 o'clock, the water bottle is still filled too. Not for lack of trying, but because my attention goes all over the place, right? But we can do better. Each and every one of you can do better. And so through this program, we've talked about so many things. We've taught you how to party. We've taught you how to sponsor. We've taught you, how to do all kinds of things. But we can give you the toolbox, and the tools can be shiny, they can be sharp, they can be magnificent. But if you carry that toolbox every single day and say, I can't, I won't, I never have been able to, no one taught me, my sponsor's not good, my director sucks, what good is that toolbox? And ouch, I know that pinched some of us, right? What good is carrying around that toolbox? So we're kind of wrapping up this program with one of the most valuable tools that you can have in that toolbox. And I hope that you guys can take this, because we're getting ready to go to SFR and things are going to ignite like never before. So excited about that. Take today what Melissa has shared with us and everything that you've learned over the past almost 3 months and do something different. Okay, every single day, like Melissa said, you can waste your time watching Netflix, but Netflix is not going to write you a check for $6,000, $600, $60, right? So you get to determine how you spend your time. You get to determine where you want to take this business. And so, as Anna said earlier, the call of action today is we want you, we talked about this in the beginning, what is your why? And so we want you, we're going to make a thread and we want you to write down what is your why. It might have shifted from 3 months ago, right? And then also, what is your why not? Because I think it's very important to identify your fear. And you'll be surprised the correlation, because oftentimes our fears are equivalent to our goals. Okay, so that's what we're going to ask you all to do. And we have a little cute little form that Anna found. You know, I'm a form person because I think we can go back and look at that. So you'll put that in the thread, and we'll all kind of revisit it. This group is going to be open, so you'll be able to revisit it and look back. I love having these groups for these programs because I personally like to see how far you all have come. Okay, and already, and you guys can put this in the chat, many of you have already made a lot of advancement, and we aren't even getting started yet. Like, we're in the summer months, you guys. We're about to kick off fall and winter. So I'm going to shut up because we have work to do. We have the code word, right, that Anna gave us. And some of you guys are watching this live on Facebook, but make sure that you message if you're watching the replay, the code word. And just know that you are amazing. Speak these things to yourself. You are very much valuable. It's not even a title or a dollar amount or a PRV or a TWV that quantifies.
That's
your
exactly
identity.
what I wanted to say too before you guys go, is that please stop using paid at title or reaching a specific title or the failure of reaching certain goals as a barometer for your worth. You are valuable beyond measure, and you are worth all the things. But you got to
titles don't define you. Like, they don't, okay, you achieved a title and maybe you lost it. Okay. You didn't single-handedly lose it. So let's remind you of that, right? You didn't single-handedly lose it. But don't beat yourself up. It doesn't define you. And can I just say one more thing before you let them go?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, aside from all of this other stuff, all of it, all the trainings, all the Zooms, all the customers, all the cans and cans, make sure that you inject fun into this business for yourself. Lead with fun, because fun people and feeling fun is attractive. Your customers will be attracted to your fun, and you will be attracted to yourself to do better and be better when you're doing it and it's fun. So on the days when you're like, I'm going to pull my hair out and I cannot handle one more thing, and something has to give, and remind yourself to get back to what you actually enjoy about doing your business and keep fun at the forefront. That is my best and biggest piece of advice, because nobody wants to do anything or interact with anyone who isn't enjoying it, doesn't look like they're having a good time. And you don't want to keep doing it if you're not enjoying it and having a good time.
Truth.
Love that. And, you know, each of us, Anna and Melissa, we learned from the GOAT, Becca Levi. And one of the things that she did is she always had sticky notes. And as soon as you walked into her home or retreat home, you would see sticky notes everywhere. You know, I am worthy, I am valuable, I'm beautiful, I have fun. Even if you don't like to have fun, even if you're miserable, negative, you like drama, then every single day that you read that, convince yourself otherwise, okay? And tell yourself that every day until you become that. So if you are challenged in this area, go tomorrow or tonight on Amazon Prime. I'm sure there's a Prime deal somewhere with sticky notes, and get colorful sticky notes and put them in your car, you know, your dash, not your dash because you don't want to get a ticket, but put it somewhere, okay? And start speaking life into who you really are, okay? And then allow this business to shine, have fun. So Melissa, thank you so much. I was joking with Anna earlier. I was like, listen, Melissa can talk about skunks and raccoons, and everybody, all these faces, we would all be captivated. Seriously.
Well, I did talk about snakes, so
You did.
I'm excited to see you all at SFR.
Yes,
We are going to have such a good time. I am so excited. We all need it. We all need the energy. We are going to have a blast. Like, there's nothing better than a Scentsy event.
yes,
It's a
so
trip.
get ready,
It's like-
guys.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so amazing.
And hot. And hot. It's going to be hot there too.
Yes, but we're indoors, so definitely if you've never been to SFR before, bring a light hoodie because the sessions can get kind of chilly. So as much as she wants to say it's hot, I'm from the Pacific Northwest and I still get chilly inside of these convention centers. So just saying.
Pack layers then.
That's how we live.
I'll see you guys all in Charlotte in like 12 days.
Yeah.
Yes. Get ready, everybody. If you guys thought this was fun, just wait for SFR. You have no idea. It's going to be amazing. So everyone have a good night, and we'll see you back on the Facebook group with our call to action. And we can't wait to see what you guys are doing this week differently.
Yep. All right. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Melissa. Everyone,
You
say
bet.
thank you to Melissa.
Thanks for having me.